Hi, this is Alex Heaches from AMT Cybex. I'm just recording myself using the geospatial capabilities of our mobile Affinity suite. This is the multi-platform version of our geospatial capabilities, so a single application that runs across iOS, Android, and Windows. And again, that can be run on multiple devices, so a smartphone, tablet, or laptop. One of the key differences with our multi-platform geospatial capabilities, it now comes with the ability to administrate the application. That comes in three forms. So first, the ability for the business, in other words, you, the customer, to be able to actually do the map configuration and styling of the data, the layers. So you want a green pipe instead of a red low-pressure pipe, then you have the ability to do that. Secondly, the ability to configure and manage the data exchange between, say, the GIS and the field application, or vice versa. And then thirdly, the ability to manage users out in the field, and also the ability to manage functionality. So functionality might be tools such as measure or zooming in, or just the general application capabilities, or it might be workflows, so the ability to add, edit, or delete workflows. So editing a workflow, it may mean you want to edit some of the forms that exist as part of a workflow, and I'll show you a DR4 error correction redline workflow in a few minutes. Or it may be the case that you need to go and inspect some M1 control valves. That's something you have to do on a monthly basis. It's something 4 or 5 people do in Edinburgh. It's you find your valves, you have an inspection sheet that you need to complete, you want to control and manage that form because it may change on a regular basis, but you also want to be able to edit the functionality that allows you to edit the attribution and geometry of those M1 control valves. And in the past, typically that's a requirement that we would receive as a vendor, and we would provide a proposal for building that capability, but that's now contained within the multi-platform version of our geospatial capabilities. Okay, let me give you a whistle-stop tour of these capabilities. Hold on. So here we are at bookmarks. So you can bookmark a location. So I've got a couple of locations here. So let's just go to the first one, and that will take me to that specific location. I can hold my finger on the map and add a new location and put it in a folder that already exists, or create a new folder. I should point out that we're viewing the maps disconnected. So all of the maps for the whole of London for this particular gas data that we have contained within here is all resident on the device. So nothing's being pulled down by the user or sent as a package to the user. All of the background maps and the network data are resident on the device from day one, and then kept up to date, delta changes on a daily basis by the field application, essentially interrogating the back office systems and pulling down work orders or incremental background and network map updates. Okay, so let's just go down to the bottom left here. So here's where you can add your pan to coordinates. So if you have a easting or northing or OS grid, you can enter that there, and then the map will navigate to that location. If we have a look down here at the bottom, you can see the pan button, which is this blue button. So that allows me to pan around the map, or zoom in, or zoom out. I've got a touchscreen device here, so I can zoom in, but another way of zooming in on a specific area is using this button here. We call that the zoom to rectangle, so let's just zoom in on this area here. And again, if I want to do it again, I can zoom right in. And the maps are pretty swift, simply because all the data is resident on the device. Let's hit the back button and go back. Okay, top right is search. So we've got asset search. We might have address search as well. It's not configured up for this application, but you can search by asset or by address. So in this case, we want to, let's do gas pipes. So let's do a search of gas pipes. So what that's done is it's doing if we just look here and see this orange circle in the map, it's basically searching for all the low pressure pipes and IP pipes, and you can decide what asset class you want to do a search on. But it's searching for all the pipes in ascending order as far as distance is concerned from the center of your map. So I'm going to just choose this one at 74 meters. What that's doing there is, so that's the pipe in question. You can see this dotted line is, and that's where I was standing when I was doing that particular search. That's asset search. I'm going to click on measurement, so new line. So let's just click on the map here, and we want to do a line to there, and then I want to do a new one. And then I can delete those. Okay, I talked about a workflow and the ability for the customer now to create or amend existing workflows. This is an existing workflow that I'm just going to demonstrate for you. So this is something I think in the gas business is called a DR4, so an error management or error correction workflow. So the ability to add new assets or edit attribution or geometry of existing assets or delete assets. So we're now about to enter data capture mode. Let's just say that we were out doing a maintenance job when we came across this error correction. So we've got a number of objects here in the top half of our screen. This is something I call intelligent objects. So I'll demonstrate that to explain what I mean. So this particular pipe here that we're looking at, we may have been doing some maintenance work on this pipe, and we realize that the attribution of this pipe needs to be updated. So in this case, it is a location error, and it's a low pressure pipe. It's recorded as PE. In fact, actually, it's a cast iron pipe. So we just simply want to change the recorded material. I'm sure if I press OK, it will probably reject that. And that's because there are some mandatory fields at the bottom of this form that I haven't yet completed. So I viewed the pipe, reviewed it, and that's been resolved. No change in risk. Okay, and that's changed the attributes of that section of pipe there. Okay, there's also another bit of pipe that's not on the map. So let's just add that. So it is there in real life, but wasn't marked up on the map. Live status, low pressure, PE, there we go. So I've just added that new pipe to the map, and let's just add a valve at the end of it. So the forms that you're looking at here against those recorded or unrecorded pipe errors are now managed by the business, so they can be owned and configured and edited by the business as opposed to having to come to us, the vendor, to do that. Okay, we can also add a bit of context here. So this is more annotation. Some of these markup annotations may not get imported into the GIS, but they're useful for the QA operator that's reviewing these changes that have been made to these pipes. Okay, so let's just add a few of these just to show what I mean. Let's take a sketch, and I could just bring in a screenshot of the map and draw on that. Or I could take a photo. I'm going to have to pretend that's a gas pipe. Okay, and let's just add an arrow. And then I might add some text. And now what I've got is I've got the ability to close it, which will just save it locally to my machine, and then I can revisit this session at any time. If I press complete, then effectively it's saving, closing, and completing, and if I have connectivity, then that data capture session will then be sent back to the GIS Bureau for QA. Okay, that's a quick whistle-stop tour of our multi-platform geospatial capabilities and a workflow that exists for error correction that can be managed and owned by the business. Okay, thank you.